Boston Jimmie from Stogie Press. And I'm sitting here with Alan Price, the proprietor of Cigar Mojo. Manager. You manage the place.
I manage the place.
How long have you managed Cigar Mojo?
So I met the owners, Trey and Wade, who are father and son, about 6 years ago before they broke ground into this location. And they were newer into the cigar industry, and they knew of me, and I knew an awful lot about cigars and tobacco, and I knew all of the brand owners from all the work that I did with Cigar Rights of America. So they sort of enlisted me from before they even opened up to help them out with introducing them to all the brands and the brand owners, as well as helping them pick out some of the tobaccos to bring into the initial store opening. I went along with them to the very first trade show, which is before they even opened the doors here, and I was able to open the doors to a lot of the brand owners who they didn't know yet. And they all were coming up to me, "Alan, how are you?" because of all the good work that I've been proud to have done with Cigar Rights of America. So it did open up a lot of doors for us. And we came into this location about 5.5 years ago, and we hit the ground running. We are super heavy on boutique cigars and selection, as well as most of the mainstay cigar products.
So you are a shop that would be followed a lot by Stogie Press.
Sure.
Because I see your humidor and your cabinets have an awful lot of what I've been talking about over the last 5 years.
Yep.
It's interesting because the last 5 or 6 years since we launched Stogie Press, there's been a lot of interesting brands that have hit the market in that same time period.
Mm-hmm.
Starting with like Robert Holt Southern Draw, Mike Bellatti's cigar from MLB Cigar Ventures, Cornelius and Anthony, which today we're not quite sure whether they're surviving in this, whether they're doing something different. But a lot of these young brands, Protocol, TBL, right? So you've been smoking cigars for how long?
I've been smoking cigars now for 27 years.
Okay.
And the reason that I know that is the day that my son was born, he's actually visiting from Florida with us today. The day my son was born, I handed out cigars. And it was Ashton Classics. And I was not a cigar smoker then. I mean, I had had a cigar, but I was not a cigar smoker. And then one day while baby boy was taking a nap, I decided it was a beautiful day. I'm going to sit outside and have one of these cigars. And found it to be one of the most relaxing, fulfilling experiences in my life. And ever since that day, I have been a smoker, an aficionado, and someone became very quickly interested in helping support this industry.
So you've seen the ebbs and flows, as I have. I've been
Absolutely.
smoking cigars since 1981.
Okay.
Actually, even before that, probably 1978, when I started when I was in college, fraternity, smoking crappy cigars, but it still counts on the list of cigars. So we've seen these ebbs and flows. Where do you think it's going right now in the 2000s?
Well, I think the boutique industry especially has ebbed and flowed. I think we've seen a lot of companies that have come in and been 1 and 2 years in the industry and then left. And then we've seen a lot of influx of some of these smaller companies that have such heart that not only do they have heart, but they have great tobacco in small batches that some of the bigger companies can't procure because it's not worth it for someone to buy 100 boxes worth of tobacco. But some of these smaller companies can really do well with it. So I think we will see a continuation of some small, spectacular companies, although it's difficult, as you know, with substantial equivalency and the dates of when your tobacco products had to have been registered and things like that. I think the big companies are going to continue to produce some stellar products. But we love our boutique cigars.
As do I. So at the show,
Yeah.
it seemed to be lightly attended from past years. Everybody I met from the brand owners and people were buying, those that were there, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see that piqued your interest at the show that you would want to bring into your shop?
So we had a little bit different of a model this year for us personally because after 5.5 wonderful years in this location, we're going to be moving to a new location. We're not going to have a second shop. We're just going to move our current shop. And we're going to be moving into a big, beautiful standalone bank building. with 3 different cigar lounges. We're going to have a members-only lounge, we're going to have a general public lounge, and we're going to have a big outdoor smoking lounge, as well as continuing our 24/7 membership access for our members. So
this is 24/7.
This lounge that you're currently sitting in is 24/7. So at 9 p.m., the doors to the lounge close off, so nobody can get to the point of sale area, but members have a magnetic key to come in the back door, and then they can come into this lounge. They can access the lounge, their lockers, their cabinets, the ice, the glasses, the restrooms, and things like that. So for us, our focus this year was not on looking for a lot of new product, because our focus is on opening our new shop. So we sort of didn't explore a lot of the newer companies, but we expanded and stayed with our current companies and expanded the lines within those companies.
Okay.
A little bit different than our normal approach of see everything, smoke everything, but that's going to be on hold until we're in our new digs. We don't want to load up on everything in this store and then have to move it and then figure out shelf space and things like that. So the goal is to move into our big, beautiful new location, put what we currently have with line extensions from our current companies, and then look into developing newer products after that.
So even though you do feature a lot of boutiques, I do notice that you're also a Drew Diplomat retailer.
We are.
You've got the big water tower in front.
Absolutely.
And you carry all of the Drew brands.
Correct.
So that's good, because they must sell quite well.
They
for
do.
you.
We're also one of only 5 in the country My Father cigar lounges. So we carry everything by the My Father brand, as well as we're one of the 5 shops that have a lounge exclusive cigar. We have a My Father lounge cigar. And it's a very nice cigar. It's not as spicy as the core My Father line, but it's a really nice solid cigar at $10 price point.
It's
Pretty good. Yeah.
And that's here in Pennsylvania. There are limited cigar taxes.
So Pennsylvania, Florida, and one other state. It might be Michigan, but don't quote me on that. And
I know Michigan has a 50-cent tax.
Okay, then it's not Michigan. There's Florida and Pennsylvania for sure are the 2 states without a cigar tax at all.
Right.
So we have a lot of people that are coming from New York, New Jersey, and buying cigars from us because there's no separate cigar tax on that.
So when you heard about, talk a little bit about the show. So we've rebranded our association now as the PCA,
Correct.
right? Premium Cigar Association. I like the rebranding. I think it's smart. I've talked to a number of brand owners and retailers that all tend to agree with that. Focus on premium cigars. Let's fight the battle. Let's make it right. We have an identity now as a Premium Cigar Association. The second part of that, though, is this Cigar Con, the consumer event. What is your opinion as a retailer, bringing your potential influences, if you will, to an event 6 hours
Right.
at the beginning of the trade show next year?
So my personal feelings, and I'm not speaking for my owners at this point, but my personal feeling, you could try to explain how large of a show this is to your followers. It's mind-boggling.
It's huge.
The first year that I went, and you walk in that trade show door, and you can't see to the back wall, and you can't see to the left wall, and you can't see to the right wall, is just confusing as all hell. In addition to that, I think when most consumers think of a trade show, they think of a 6x10 booth with a table with a sign behind it, and not realize that some of these displays are like walking on Fifth Avenue in New York, and you're walking into a store, a full constructed store set up just for this trade show. That would blow the mind of any consumer. So I'm very mixed on the feeling of CigarCon. I think it would be a great experience to see the enormity of this trade show and the expansiveness and magnificence of what these booths look like. But I'm still very much on the fence of how it will actually go over.
Right.
I would love to know what your thoughts of this is.
My view of CigarCon is, okay, if you want to try it, that's great. I think it's the problem I see with it is how to move 4,500 consumers through the floor in an effective way that allows the brand owners, both big and small, to get response from the consumers. I think that's important. They did talk about how they were going to do that at the press conference, where they were going to have zoned out areas, and you would be entitled to so many cigars per zone. You're not getting 200, 300, 400 cigars. You might get 30, 40 cigars max.
Right.
It's like similar to any other big event.
Sure.
Right? Allow them to help be your influencer, to say, hey, you know what? I think this cigar is a pretty good cigar. We ought to bring it in. I think we would buy these. But again, it'd be up to you in the 3 days after doing the business-to-business deals. They're bringing in, supposedly going to bring in spirits vendors and beer vendors, and mixing beer, spirits, and everything, walking through that floor. It can just be, if it's not controlled and managed, it can get out of control. Been to these big events, I know how they get, right? It's not a grab bag like they do in all the other ones, where you just walk through and get your cigars.
Trick or treating.
Right. It's not going to be like that.
Correct.
And you have to be able to have time with the brand owners. That's why the consumer wants to go there. They want to meet the Rocky Patel. They want to meet a Francisco Almonte, who they may never have seen, and like, oh, this is a great guy to talk to. But they can only spend a few minutes with them. You're not going to get a lot of time. So, and I think everybody is. I think if they're going to do this. This is not something that is not happening. They've announced that they're going to do this in 2020, and they're going to see how it works. The part that I've been concerned about is they're doing it because they need to raise more revenue, because we have to fight this battle against the FDA, and bringing in a consumer base for a day would start to generate some more of that revenue. But they told us at the press conference that the revenue will not be positive for 3 years. So they're going to run a negative the first couple of years is their estimate. And my concern is, if you're running a negative, where's the money coming from?
Sure.
It's coming out of the existing budget they have, which is what we need so desperately to fight this battle.
Absolutely.
I would rather have seen us win a battle or two, all right, and then do this and continue the process, than to have to steal from Peter to pay Paul, and we end up with less money to fight the battle. That's my view. So let me ask you a couple personal things. Favorite college football team?
Oh, terrible. I'm not a college football fan.
Not at all. Huh?
No. I'm a big pro sports.
Right, so you're a big Steelers fan.
Yeah, right. We bleed Eagles green. My son and I had the wonderful experience of going over across the pond and watch the Eagles play in London this past year.
That must have been exciting.
Well, I'll tell you what. London town became Eagles town. No matter where you went, it was Eagles cheers, Eagles chants. There must have been 5,000 people plus at the Tower of London, all doing the Eagles chant while we were at the Tower of London.
That's beautiful.
And for sure, the overwhelming majority of people at that stadium were Eagles fans.
Okay.
So wonderful, wonderful time.
So you grew up in Philadelphia?
I did.
Area?
I grew up in West Philadelphia.
West Philly. And did you go to college here?
I went to Temple.
Temple?
Yep.
Okay.
My father-in-law went to Temple. My father-in-law played on 2 of Temple's Final Four teams back in the 50s. And then he went on to become a very well-known, stellar high school basketball coach for West Philadelphia High School. And my son then followed me, and he went to Temple. So, yeah, big Temple family.
So do you follow the basketball side?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, one of my son's roommates was captain of the Temple basketball team.
Very good.
Yeah.
So when you grew up in West Philly, have you seen dramatic changes over the years now? Has things gotten better or worse in this area?
The West Philly area directly has, changed quite a bit from, when I grew up. It's a little bit different of a neighborhood now.
Just so everybody understands, we're in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, which I actually should ask the question, what does King of Prussia come from?
I'm not really sure. I honestly don't know. I'm sure if Wade and Trey, our owners, were here, they would be able to answer that question. but we are home to the largest consumer mall in the country. I think Mall of America is physically bigger, but we have more shops in King of Prussia Mall. So we're currently about a mile from the mall, and then when we move to our new location, we're going to be less than a half a mile, maybe a quarter of a mile away from our current location.
So this shop right here, is this the biggest in your demographic?
It's one of the biggest lounges, other than, let's say, Holtz in Center City. We're in the Northeast. Humidor-wise, we hold our own. We've got a really nice size humidor, as you saw, as well as we've got 8 cabinets on the exterior of the humidor, which are specific to each brand.
Okay.
But we've got a really, really nice selection of cigars.
So the new lounge
will be 20% bigger.
20% bigger.
50% better air handling and ventilation, which we already have great ventilation.
Yes, you do.
But it's going to be even better there.
So you'll see in the other video that's in this article, you'll see a walkthrough of this lounge. I have obviously some photos, but I'll show a complete walk through your lounge so everybody can see it from the time you walk in the door to all the way through. So you've got a number of lockers. You have a private lounge here with 24/7 access.
Yes.
What is the membership fee for your lounge?
So we have a very unique membership package. We have 2 separate structures currently. One is a flat $1,000. Both membership options give you the same amenities. So I'll tell you the 2 price points, and then I'll tell you the amenities. So the first price point is a flat $1,000 a year. That's it. The second membership option I kind of call the no-brainer membership option. It's $200 per month. In the beginning, you join for 4 months, and then after that, it's month to month if you want to renew. But for each month that you pay for, you get a $200 credit on account. So basically, it's a free membership. You pay $200 a month, you get $200 a month credit on your account. So as long as you're paid up and you're a member in good standing, your cigars are free. So basically, we tell people if you can smoke a box of cigars a month, you've got a free membership. With both of those membership options, you get 10% off single sticks, you get 15% off box purchases, you get your private locker to store your cigars in, you get the big screen TVs, the Wi-Fi, you can bring a few guests during the year, and then your home is our home.
So the $1,000 though. So what is the benefit of the $1,000?
So let's say it's a person like me who's moving to a new area, and I've got 4,000 cigars in my arsenal at home already. I might want to continue to smoke my own cigars. So I might come in, have lounge access 24/7, and a place to store my cigars. And maybe I don't purchase a lot of cigars over the course of the year, but I've got my home away from home and a place to store my sticks.
Okay.
So that's the benefit of the $1,000 membership.
So $1,000 membership gives you the 24/7.
It does. Both give you the same
both
benefits.
Okay.
Correct.
How many facings do you have, you think?
I personally don't know. I wouldn't even be able to venture.
So you've got a lot.
We got a lot. Like I said, we've got most of the major brand companies as well as an awful lot of the boutique cigar companies. And then we've seen certain boutiques really grow with us. We started with Francisco at DBL with 1 or 2 facings. And then we had our rolling event with Francisco that went over so phenomenally well that now we carry half a dozen, facings. But that's all we have the room for right now in our current location. We move to our new location, we have the ability then to even expand on that line or other lines like that even more.
So Alan Price, cigar guy, manages Cigar Mojo,
King of Prussia, Pennsylvania.
King of Prussia, Pennsylvania.
Jimmie,
Pleasure.
A pleasure as always, my friend.
Always.